Welcome to Shadow Empire Academy. Today you will learn how to optimize existing logistical network. And today, thanks to the help of very kind Reddit user who shared his gameplay file, we can optimize the real existing logistical network. So the problem reported is with this part of the front line where we have some units. And if we switch to the bottleneck view, we can see that they have some problems with logistics, which means that the units are using more logistical points on this line than the amount of initial logistical points available at the start of this round. So if we check initial points, we can see that here we have 5,517 logistical points in this hex, and the used points are exactly the same. That's why the black color means that we are using 100% of the initial logistical points on this line. So what we can check if we don't know what is causing a problem? The first thing you should check is go to your capital by clicking on the banner and find SHQ unit and go to the supply button. Here you can see how the logistical network looks like from the perspective of your SHQ. So SHQ, we can see that can deliver supplies to zones without bigger problems. That could be better, but most of the supplies that were requested are delivered. But to units, I think about 60%. This is the amount. This yellow color symbolizes that we are around 60% of what we could deliver. So 12,000 was requested, 7,400 was delivered to our units. So something is bad here. No problem with sending from zones to SHQ, and huge problem with sending replacements to units. Only 6 from 175 delivered. So now check if there were any problems with our logistical points. So we can see that here I don't see any big problems because the light gray bars are not filling the boxes here. So it means that we were not using the whole capacity of logistical points preserved in our SHQ for this activity. So you can see that we used nearly nothing from the available logistical points for zones. We used half of points required to send supplies to units. So there is no problem with our capacity. If that would be full, then we would have some problem with capacity, but we don't have. We have enough logistical points to send the resources. And on the bottom, we can see that even if we had 0 points allocated for replacements, the game could borrow some points from the top to send the replacements. But in this case, it was to send this smaller amount of units. So the problem is somewhere else, not with the capacity. Let's check our assets. You can see we have rail station, which is providing 3,000 rail points. And here we can find a very huge track station level 5, which is providing 21,000 of logistical points. So with that amount of points and with 120 action points, we should have no problems to deliver resources to a front line, which is not far away from our capital. So what is going on? So maybe let's switch to the initial points layer to see our precious logistical points, because initial points are the most important ones. And here you can see that there is 7,000 logistical points in this hex, but something happened that here we have 3,700. So I expect that because here we have track station and supplies base, we have a refocus. That's why we drop from 6,000 to 3,000. We can check the refocus if we switch to the traffic signs, inspect this hex. You can see that there is a third refocus. So we are losing a big amount of logistical points. But refocus wouldn't be a bad thing if it would be on the edge of our logistical network range. So if you have track stations earlier, so there is no problem to have track stations with refocus if they are built at the end of your range of logistical network. But are we at the edge of logistical network? But let's check logs per source hex to check which assets provided logistical points to this hex. And it's quite strange because we can see here 3 rail stations and 8 track stations that were participating to provide logistical points to this hex. I assume that if we have 8 track stations, probably they also done a refocus. And why we need 8 track stations on such short range? That will be a huge waste of resources. So let's maybe check what's the range of our track station. If we have 120 action points and the cost of movement for track logistics on the road, which is a sealed road, so you can see that the cost is 7 action points per hex. So if we divide 120 by 7, the range should be 17 hexes. So we can count 17 to check where is the optimal range of our track station. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So this hex, so one hex above the Tirania city, is a place where we have optimal range and where we could deliver logistical points without any losses. So here is a place where we should build a track station, but maybe why to build track station and have refocus if we could build supply base? So this to extend the range. So in this place, I would build a supply base. So let's construct here supply base because I would like to extend my optimal range by some additional hexes. But how much the supply base will extend our range? By 50 action points divided by 7 on sealed road, it means by 7 hexes. So our range will be extended by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, up to here. So it means that I don't need any track station and any supply station other than the one that I built here on the whole line up to the SHQ. So what I will do now is I will delete this track station because we don't need it. I am selling to receive metal. I am selling this supply base. We don't need those two assets. Let's hunt for more. In the city, we have track station level 2. We don't need this track station here. Why we need track station in the city? In general, people like to build track stations in cities. I don't know why. Track stations are not needed for cities. Cities can cooperate with the SHQ even if they have no track stations inside, because the blue pull point marker is creating here pull points, which are zone pull points, and the zone pull points are requesting the logistics from your SHQ to be able to receive, so the in, and to be able to send, so the out column, to SHQ. And for that operation, we don't need any assets. We need only logistical points. So I have removed from here the track stations, and let's go north. Let's check. It's suspicious. Why we had so many track stations here? Here, another track station level 3. We can dismount. Please notice that we are reducing the levels of track station. So to remove completely, I need to remove all 3 levels of this track station. So we remove 6 levels of track station on the road. Maybe it's strange that I am removing track stations to improve the logistical network, but well, it looks like the one is enough. But now let's check rails, because here we have a rail station and the cost of the rail logistics on our rails is 4 points. So the range is 100 divided by 4, so 25 hexes. So this rail station can, without any problem, reach our front line. So let's check and hunt for some rail stations on this path. Here, once a rail station is hiding, we don't need you. This rail station is not needed in this place because the one that we have in capital has a range bigger than required. So why we need a station here? That station will only cause refocus. We don't need that. Also, all other track stations which we removed would cause refocus. We don't need refocus on a path when existing track or relay station has optimal range. The path should be clean. It should be clean as a corridors in radiation treatment center. But jokes aside, so now we have cleared our path to the front line with unnecessary assets, and now we can preview our logistical network for next round, and we need to optimize it because you can see that we are wasting some points in different directions. For example, why we are sending nearly 10,000 points north? What's here on the north? Is there anything important? No. So we shouldn't lose those points. So let's switch to the traffic signs and block everything north except pull points. So now you can see we are sending only 2,000 north, not 10,000. Rest is going south. But then here is a branch. And this branch is also suspicious because why we need 13,000 on the southwest? Do we have here any really needed? Here is a town, but they need only 500. Here is 150, but they are not cumulative. Remember that the red pull point markers do not cumulate. You need only the one that is maximum. So on the whole path, I need only 300. This is the maximum. I need 300 to support everything that has a red marker. Plus the green pull point markers are cumulative, so they are increasing the amount of points we need. So I would also block everything except pull points. So the game will decide how many points we need here based on the all pull point markers down the road or rail. So this way we have 26,000 redirected to the direction where are our units. But here also we are sending 9,000 into this direction. I'm not sure what is very important here to send so many points. Nothing important. So we can build another blockade and allow pull points. We are allowing pull points to support all assets or units that are creating pull point markers. So this 900 will be delivered because the game is smart and the option to allow pull points is very useful. But this way we could redirect 22,000 south and the points are flowing. Here the 50, the branch, another branch, but what we can do here another branch, but inconvenient because we are losing 100 here. It would be better to have a road from here and then we would not lose any points because the 150 would be enough to also support this and this station. But okay, this is not optimal, but it's too small to care about it. Now here we have some leak of logistical points. Do we need it? No, because the points will flow from north to this area. We don't need to lose this precious logistical points. So we will block, in my opinion, we should block everything here because there is also rail here. And we don't want also lose rail points because track station should be enough to supply all of those areas here. So we are here to the next branch. So in general, you should check all branches on your main road and simply block what is not needed. Sometimes we can allow pull points if there is something that is close enough and will require something important that is close to this branch and would benefit from the points. I'm not sure if I should allow here pull points because we maybe this path would be enough to support this area. Maybe we can even block everything. Let's double check it later. So we are ending with 25,000 logistical points in our city here. But as you can see, the game still thinks that there is a track station here. So it's showing me that there will be a refocus, but we already deleted it because it's working with some delay. But I think we have done a great job to clear out some unnecessary asset and we made the road more and we could redirect most of the points where they are needed. So let's check this hex because remember that we have removed all rail stations from our capital. So we have this rail station which is producing points, but I think this rail station could be upgraded to level 2 because it's not as expensive and we could have additional 6,000, but it's not necessary. You can upgrade it, but depending if you can afford this cost. But let's check the resources. We don't have too much metal, so maybe no. Maybe let's keep this rail here as it is. But I have noticed also that there is a railhead here. Why in the capital is railhead? We don't need here the railhead. Please remove this asset. Railhead will be useful, but to close the network of our rails. And to close the network of our rails, we should build it in the place which is close to our units on the front line and is in the range of our rail station. So the range of our rail station is 25, so we can count. We know this is 17, so we can count 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. This is the optimal range of our rail station. So here is the place where I could construct the railhead to close the rail network, because without this railhead, we would have only 10% capacity. To close the rail network, you need to have rail station or railhead. But I don't want to build rail station here because I don't see any opportunity to extend this network further. For now, the railhead is cheap and quick to build to quickly close the network, and from this hex, the units will be able to pick up logistics provided by the rails. So it's good enough. And also here supply base. Why it's here supply base? We don't need the supply base. If we build supply base here, the other one will not work because supply bases are not cumulative. This supply base will not provide additional extension points. Supply bases can be built only after track stations, not after previous supply base. So this one should be deleted also. So another asset that we could remove. And yes, I think we are ready to play next round, but let's protect here our south border a bit, because I see that it might be risky if they will move to our flank and cut our supply lines behind our units. So it would be good to send here some protection to protect this area, maybe even this unit here and this unit here. Now it be and this unit here. Now will be better protection. Okay, let's play next round. Okay, we are in next round. You can skip the messages here and let's check the logistical points. Go to our front line. You can see here we have 25,000 logistical points up to this city, and then inside the city, if we switch to traffic signs, we can see that there is still a refocus because the game need one round to apply the changes in our logistical network, and our supply base sadly is not finished yet from some reason, so we'll have some delay also for the extension points, but probably in 1 or 2 rounds without touching anything else, and the logistical network should apply all changes. And already here we have finished the railhead. So next round, the rail points should also provide some logistical points. But we have noticed that enemy is going to our flanks to make problems. So let's protect this area. Maybe we can even try to cut their supply. And now they have problem. And this unit can protect the airport. Okay, let's make the decisions and play next round. Okay, another round. Let's go to the front line. Now we can see that the situation improved. So we have our logistical points flowing here, but they are diminishing. So if you check the traffic signs, you can see that we are crossing the optimal range because there are no extension points, because the supply base finished this round. So next round we will also have extension points, which will allow our points from this hex to not diminish each hex, but to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 up to here. So this number should be available here next round, thanks to the supply base that will extend our optimal range, and then no problem if they will diminish because our units have also operational logistical range visible in the used layer. So you can see that this unit can use the operational logistics, which is also 100 action points. So here we pay 10, 20, 30, here something more, but it should be able to pick from here, from this or from this hex, the logistical points. So it's also good to remember that the units have some range, and if we press 6 on the keyboard, we also have the operational logistic layer, and you can see they are in the green area. So I think everything should be fine next round. Let's do the decision. So sadly, if you are changing the logistics, especially building some assets, the assets, when they are finished, the next round they need to start working and receiving the and be operational, and the next round they apply the changes. So sometimes, so there is a small delay if you are changing logistical network, also including the production speed of your logistical assets. They are not instant. That's why we need to play yet another round without touching anything else. Oh, you can see that this unit is trying to evacuate, so we can block the evacuation and move here. And this unit shouldn't be going that way because it's out of supply. Probably they will die. How dare they even try to flank us? Okay, another round of waiting. We can check our front line. You can see that here now we have about 17,000 logistical points, and still we don't have the extension points. I think I was wrong that it will be available next round, because when the supply base is constructed, next round it need to be operational, and next round it will provide their output. So this is time plus 2 according to the documentation. So we need to play another round to see difference. So we have another round, and this time you can see finally our extension point started to work. So here we can see that there are extension points, 35 from 50 available. So we are not losing any track points. Rail points don't need an extension because they have very good range. Let's check our bottleneck. So nothing is black, everything is green. Let's zoom out and check other parts. Only here there is something that we maybe could also improve, but they are using 45% of this capacity, so nothing wrong. They're receiving everything. Simply we have less current logistical points available on this line. And also, if we go to our SHQ and check the supply button, you can see that everything that was requested has been delivered. So there are no issues in the logistical network, and there are some issues with the replacements, but I think the issues are from a different reason than our logistical network. Maybe we don't have enough replacements, or maybe, for example, if we go to replenish troops, you can see that they are asking for 2,000 soldiers, but we provided nothing. Also 100 tanks, we provided nothing. Also 130 transports. So probably this is the lack of available units in our SHQ. So overall, we increased from 3,000 to 23,000, so plus 30,000 logistical points only by removing 6 levels of track stations, 3 levels of rail stations, adding 1 supply base and 1 railhead, and adjusting the traffic lights across the road. The one issue was that simply we had a delay in construction, and then we need to wait plus 2 rounds to have effects of this supply base. And also here, if we check this hex for the rail points, so let's check how the rails are going, and you can see that we are receiving all rail points without any issues, without any delays. There are no rail stations needed between our SHQ if we have enough range. So thank you for watching. I hope now you know how to optimize your logistical network and how to avoid building the assets in the places where they are not needed. So once again, you don't need to build track stations inside towns if it's not required. You can even check if you go to items that everything was sent from this zone to SHQ, and we could receive everything from SHQ. So this zone has no problems, even if there is no track station inside. And units are using their operational logistic to pick up from here the points. And big thanks for the Reddit user who provided this map so other people could learn, based on this example, how to improve their own maps. Thank you very much. Thank you for watching and enjoy this great game.